Hey everybody, it's Warboss Fitz. A couple weeks ago I was approached by a guy named Philip Sins. He said, hey, I'm working on a new Kickstarter, do you like cats? So he sent over all the 3D files and a preview of his new Kickstarter. It comes with over 60 models on a whole bunch of terrain. So I downloaded the files and started printing cats. Read through the book, made a list, and now we're here. So yes, this is a sponsored video, but it was a whole lot of fun making these cats. So let's go ahead and jump right in. There's going to be no lore in front of this because I don't know if he has lore for these yet. All I know is they're cats and they like to stab stuff, just like all my cats. So let's hop in. We're going to start off with the special rules at the beginning. We're going to go through all of these because all the units in the army seem to have some kind of special rule going on. So we'll just list them here and then we'll still go over it when we get to it in the army list. So at the beginning, Apex Killers. This model and its unit gets AP +1 in melee. At the double, once per activation, before attacking, pick one other friendly unit within 12, which may move by up to 6. Aura of Fury. Once per activation, pick two friendly units within 6, which get Furious next time they charge. If they already had Furious, they get extra attacks on unmodified rolls of 5 to 6 instead. Battle Aura. Once per activation, pick two friendly units within 6, which get +1 to hit next time they fight in melee. Boing. When this model is activated, you may place it anywhere within D3 +1. Destructive. This model may move through enemy units. Whenever it does, pick one of them and roll 1 die. On a 4+, it takes 3 hits with AP 1. Fiery Ardor. Ooh, it sounds of French. Fiery Ardor. Enemies that roll to block hits from this model and its unit's melee weapons take 1 additional wound for each unmodified result of 1 that they roll. Fiery Protection. Once per activation, pick two friendly units within 6, which get +1 to defense rolls next time they take hits. Healing Aura. This model and its unit gets regeneration. Stumble. When this model is activated, you may place it anywhere within D3 +1. Surprise Attack. This model counts as having ambush and may be deployed up to 1 inch away from enemy units. Once deployed, roll X dice. For each 2+, one enemy unit within 3 takes 2 hits with AP 1. Symbol of Plague. Once per game, before attacking, roll X dice. For each 2+, one enemy unit within 12 takes 3 hits with poison. Takedown. Once per game, when this model attacks in melee, you may pick one model in the unit as its target and make one attack at quality 2+ with AP 1 and deadly 3, which was resolved as if it is a unit of 1. And Warning Cry. Enemy units can't be set up within 12 of this model when using ambush. Now, all these special rules are all special rules taken from elsewhere in the game. I have checked, and this is balanced as far as the 3.2 rules go. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a link down in the description that will take you right to the Cat Folk Army book, so you guys can poke around and make armies yourselves. For spells, Deform. 1. Target friendly unit within 12 takes +1 defense rolls next time it takes hits. Hissing Wrath. 1. Target enemy model within 12 takes 1 hit with AP 4. Catnip Buffet. 2. Target 2 friendly units within 12 get AP +2 next time they charge. Predator's Roar. 2. Target enemy unit within 9 takes 1 hit with AP 4 and deadly 3. Hunting Frenzy. 3. Target enemy unit within 12 takes 9 hits. And Liquid Form. 3. Target 2 enemy units within 12. They get AP -2 next time they fight in melee. Alright, all the spells sound good, right? Got a couple of buffs, a couple of debuffs, a couple of offensive spells. Nice little balanced approach to it. So with the models that come in the Kickstarter, there's no real hard place for all of the infantry to go. I just put stuff where it seems it should go, but all the models seem to be interchangeable on what squads they go to. They come with different weapons. A couple are specific, and you'll see when we get to those pictures, but like a sword cat and a spear cat can both be the same unit, just armed with different weapons if you so choose to arm them that way. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and roll into the pictures. Kitten Initiates, 10 of them for 55 points, quality 5, defensive 6, 1 attack apiece, and they're all furious. You can upgrade all of them to have a slingshot for 40 points to give them a ranged attack. You can give them the Sergeant, the Musician, or the Banner, which I'll break it down real simple like I do every time. Sergeant gives 1 model +1 to hit in melee. Musician means the squad moves +1 inch. And banner means the squad is +1 to quality checks on morale rolls. You can take the whole squad and you can update them with the fat cat or the fit cat to give them defensive 5 or to give them fast. In this situation, I would just give them fast. The defensive stat difference between a 5+ and a 6+ doesn't feel all that much different when you're actually rolling it, but the difference between moving 6, 12, and then moving 8, 16 feels a whole lot different. You could replace all the weapons for whatever you want them to do. Spear would probably be the best idea for these, but again, it is the most expensive. That's up to you. They're your cats. You choose what they're going to do. Seasoned Cat Adventures, 5 of them for 65 points, quality 3, defensive 5, 1 attack apiece with hand weapons, Furious, and Strider. Now, options for these cats, you can give them all Slingshot for a ranged attack for 40 points. You can hook on the Sergeant and the Musician and the Banner for their associated buffs. You can upgrade them with the Fat Cat for a +1 defense or the Fit Cat to give the squad fast. And you can choose to switch out their weapons for lances, halberds, great weapons, or spears. Now, this is a situation where I would choose the great weapon on these cats because the quality 3 means that that great weapon is going to hit more often and thus be more valuable. Cat Slingers, 5 of them for 50 points, quality 5, defensive 6, 1 attack apiece with their hand weapons, and 1 attack at 18 inches with their slingshots. They come equipped with Strider, so they are moving through difficult terrain like it's not even there. The other 2 options are to be fit cats or fat cats, and in this situation, just because they're ranged units, definitely fit cats. Get in there, launch your stones, get out. There's no reason for them to be in a fist fight. Keep these guys outside of 12 inches, and you'll never have a problem with them. Cat Drunkards. 65 points for 3 of them. Quality 3, defensive 6. 3 vomit attacks. 1 attack apiece at AP1 with poison. They have Ambush, Fearless, Regeneration, and Stumble. These cats can pop up anywhere, and they're going to get a little bit faster movement with the Stumble. You can give them the Vomiting All the Way upgrade, gives them Destructive, and then you can give them the Fit Cat and the Fat Cat upgrade. The Destructive is, this model may move through enemy units. Whenever it does, pick one of them and roll 1 die. On a 4+, it takes 3 hits with AP1. That'd be an interesting combination with the Fit Cat to give them Fast, so they have Fast, and they have Stumble, so they're going to go even further. And then they have Destructive, to where they're turned into little cat wrecking balls that then puke all over stuff. Okay, that's interesting. Cat Folk on Monkey. Squad of 3 for 65 points, quality 3, defensive 5. 1 attack apiece with the monkey's fists, and 1 attack apiece with hand weapons, Fast, Furious, and Strider. You can upgrade the hand weapons, or you can replace the hand weapons to be a lance, halberd, great weapon, or spear. I choose lance because, in my mind, cavalry, and these monkeys are the cavalry, are supposed to have lances. So when we come to the army that I put up, they do. And the models come with these cool, fishing spear looking things. You can upgrade them all with a slingshot to get a ranged weapon. You can give them a sergeant, musician, or a banner. And you can pay 5 points to make them ambush, which is a tactic to think about. If you got extra 5 points left over, throw it there. You never know if you're going to use it. Cat Folk on Gorilla. 60 points for 1 of them. Quality 3 and defensive 3. 1 attack with the hand weapon and 2 attacks with the bash. That must be the gorilla. So you get 3 attacks to start with on the gorilla. They have Furious, Impact 1, Strider, and Toughness 3. For upgrades, you can start off with a slingshot, give them a ranged attack. You can change the gorilla over to Silverback for +1 defense, making them defense 2. Or you can change out the gorilla for the grizzly bear, which gives rending and melee and the boing ability to make them a little bit faster. And then you can replace the weapon of the rider for a lance, halberd, great weapon, or spear. They're all 5 points. It's whatever you want to put in that slot. I would say great weapon here because that gives you AP2 all the time, and the lance just gives you AP2 when you charge. Cat Beehive Tossers, 3 of them for 45 points, quality 4 and defensive 6. 3 hand weapons, 1 attack apiece, and they all throw beehives. 6-inch range, 1 attack, AP1 with a blast of 3. And they have Strider, so they can move right through difficult terrain on their own. You can upgrade one of them with the Release Bees, which gives them the symbol of Plague 1, which is once per game before attacking, roll 1 dice in this case. For each 2+1 enemy unit within 12 takes 3 hits with poison. Okay. Hey, for 10 points, sure, throw it on there. Why not? And you can upgrade them with Fat Cat or Fit Cat. And in this situation with these guys with the beehives only having a 6-inch range, I would give them the Fit Cat upgrade for fast. Because not only do you want to be fast to get there and throw the beehive, you want to be fast to get away from the beehive as it explodes. Kitten Ballista Team. 45 points, quality 4, defensive 6, 2 attacks with a crew, 1 attack with a coconut shot at 36 inches, deadly 3, and lock on. It is slow and tough. You can swap out the coconut shot for a small coconut, which is 36-inch A1 reliable, making it kind of a sniper coconut, almost sniper coconut. Or you could do the coconut blast, where they fill the coconut full of God knows what. 1 attack, 36-inch range, lock on with blast 3. And I really like this model, the goat with a rubber band on it with the 2 cats loading it up with explosive coconuts. I think that's really cool. It leans into this whole aesthetic really hard. And I respect that out of this model. Cat Mimicry Ambusher, quality 3, defensive 6, heavy great weapon for 3 attacks at AP 4, surprise attack 1, takedown, and toughness 3. This unit has no upgrades. Now, as far as the units that came in the pack, I'm not sure what's supposed to be here. But honestly, that makes it a very good Mimic. I don't know what the Mimic's model looks like, so have a cat I threw up there. Look, there's a big cat. He's hiding. He's ambushing. Primordial Sabertooth Guardian. 150 points, quality 2, defensive 3, 4 rending attacks with his dual energy claws, Furious, Impact 3, Strider, and Toughness 6. Now this guy's just a big old Sabertooth that is very angry at the trees. Strategy with this guy, he's got quality 2 and defensive 3 and toughness 6. Run him at the enemy, run him at the enemy, say deal with this, use him to clog up a line, use him to block off some stuff. Yeah, just go in hog wild with one of these. The Shrine of Feline Divinity, quality 3, defensive 3, 5 attacks with the crew, Fiery Ardor, Fiery Protection, Impact 4, and Toughness 9. And the only upgrade for it is the Caster 3. Now this is going to be like the centerpiece model of the army. While this and the Sabertooth are the same size-ish, but this thing has more gravitas behind it. You got the cats carrying they have the cats carrying the rowboat with the cat in it, eating. I don't know, it was a fun model to paint up. Is it going to work on the battlefield? I've got no clue. That's why we do this. We're going to see what happens. The Supreme Cat Chieftain, 45 points, quality 3, and defensive 5. Everyone who has cats has one of these cats. It's inevitable. Mine yells at me every night when it's time to go to bed. So, heavy hand weapon, 3 attacks with AP 1, Furious, Hero, and Toughness 3. You can upgrade this character to have the unit upgrades. We're going to start off at the top here. Predator's Instinct gives Aura of Fury, which is once per activation, pick 2 friendly units within 6, which each get Furious next time they charge. If they already had Furious, then they get extra hits on unmodified rolls of 5 to 6 instead. And we've seen a whole lot of these units have Furious. It'd be fun to use that just to increase the amount of exploding dice you have when you go to attack, especially because it is a free upgrade. Pathfinder gives you at the double. Once per activation before attacking, pick 1 other friendly unit within 12, which may move by up to 6. Yeah, that's interesting to use in this army, but in this army where everything has the option to be fast or be defensive, it might not be as valuable in this army as others. Aura of Fury still winning in my book here. Apex Killer gives you Apex Killers. This model and its unit gets AP +1 in melee. This might be worth it, but it is 30 points. And if you're gonna use this, I would put the Supreme Cat Chieftain in with something like a veteran unit with the great weapons. where they're already going to be AP2, might as well make it AP3. We're making that knife cut deeper. Hunting in group for battle aura. Once per activation, pick 2 friendly units within 6, which each get +1 to hit next time they fight in melee. This is 50 points, but I can see this being a very big thing if you have like 2 huge groups of kittens running up next to you. Throw this out of your pocket and all of a sudden those kittens look a whole lot more vicious than they did when they started. You replace his heavy hand weapons with all kinds of different weapons. You know my usual policy on this is wherever you're going to put them, go ahead and try to match the weapons up. One, because it makes it simpler to do. One, because it lowers the mental something. Let me break it down in smooth brain orc terms. I don't gotta remember that this cat is carrying a different weapon than all the cats around him. I see 11 models, I'll just roll 11 models worth of dice. Instead of going, oh wait, these 3 over here, they got something different. That's why I do it. I match the weapon on the character to the models of the unit that he's in. Is it correct? Yes. Is it 100% correct? No, you can do whatever you want. I'm just explaining this is why I do it, because I'm not so smart. You can also upgrade him with a slingshot or a cat bow to give him a ranged attack. You can put him on a monkey, so you hang out with your monkey riders. You can put him in a gorilla, which gives him toughness 6, so he can still go with a unit. 1 impact, strider, 3 attacks with bash, and +2 to defense. It makes him defense 3. And then even on top of that, you can give him the fat cat or the fit cat upgrade. So if you really wanted a really tough supreme cat to break, give him a gorilla, give him fat cat, makes him defensive 2. It's an interesting possibility there. All right, moving on. Cat Chief, the less supreme chieftain. Yeah. 25 points, quality 4, defensive 6, 3 attacks with his hand weapon, furious, hero, and toughness 3. Now for the unit upgrades, you can take Wound Liquor, which gives healing aura, and that means that this model and its unit get regeneration. And then you can upgrade this model to be your caster, either caster 2 or caster 3, however many points you want to throw at it. You can replace the hand weapons with lance, halberd, great weapon, or spear. Again, my same philosophy is wherever you're putting it, match the weapons. You can give it a slingshot for a ranged attack, or you can give it warning cry so nothing can ambush within 12 inches of it. You can give this cat a monkey. That gives him strider, 1 attack on the monkey's fist, and switches them over to fast. And you can also give them fat cat or fit cat to give them defense +1 or fast. So that is it for the units. The Kickstarter should be live right now. I have a link down in the description that will take you directly to the splash page of that Kickstarter. Go ahead and check that out. I've looked into Philip Sin's Miniatures other stuff, and he has a lot of cool designs that cover a whole lot of different genres, and they're all pretty much compatible with one-page rules in one way or the other. He's got a lot of cool terrain stuff, so he didn't ask me to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and link his Myminifactory page right underneath that Kickstarter link, because, like I said, he's got some cool stuff. Check it out. Mrs. Warboss said I should put her babies in the video, so here is a cat counter for everybody at home. Now, with all that done, let's get to what you're here for. Let's go watch some cats beat up some fairies. Welcome to the garage, everybody. Today we are going to see the Cat Folk by Philip Sin's Miniatures take on the Fey Petal Courts by the Dragon Trappers Lodge. These cats were a whole lot of fun to paint up. I've even printed out the bases that are available in the Kickstarter that is currently going on now. Link down in the description. These are the grass bases. There is a rocky base option, but because we're going to be playing on the green board, I decided to keep the grass on it. So let's take a look at the units. First unit up, we have 6 cats riding on top of monkeys. They're going to be armed with a lance, and they're going to be led by a supreme chief on a gorilla. Next, we have a combined unit of 6 beehive tossers. They're going to be moving behind the front line, hoping to lob their buzzing projectiles over top of friendly forces. We have a unit of 10 slingers who are being led by a chieftain cat. So along with throwing stones, they're going to be throwing spells. We have 2 units of 10 kittens. They're all armed with spears. They have the Fit Cat upgrade to all be fast. We have a unit of 10 seasoned cat adventurers, all armed with great weapons. One kitten ballista, ready to fire coconuts into the fairies. We have one massive primordial saber tooth. Then finally rounding out the list, we have one shrine being carried by its kitten crew with the Caster 3 upgrade. Fighting against them today are the fairies of the Fey Petal Courts, still riding high off of their victory over the halflings in our last battle report. This is our board for today. It looks like we are deep in the woods once again, with some crop fields over on the left flank. Those are going to count as difficult terrain today, but one whole army flies, the other whole army has Strider, so it's not really going to matter that much. Our mission is going to be Relic Hunt. The 3 glass drops in the middle are going to be our relics. When a unit moves in contact with an uncontested relic, they pick it up. If that unit fails a morale test, they drop the relic. Deployment today is going to be front lines, and as our armies deploy, we can see that the Cat Folk have gone for most of their heavy hitters are going to be on their right flank with their saber tooth, their shrine, their monkey cavalry, all piling up in the fields, with the beehive tossers behind them. The fairies, being outnumbered unit-wise, have consolidated most of their forces towards the center of the board, with the queen and the rumblebees setting forward in the center, and the 2 archer units on the very extreme flanks. Let's roll to see who goes first. The Cat Folk are going to have turn number 1. The Cat Folk start off by activating their shrine. It uses its aura of protection ability to give the monkeys and the kittens +1 defense. It then moves forward at full speed towards the relic in the middle of the crop field. Not quite able to grab the objective yet. It then decides to cast Deform on itself, giving the shrine +1 defense, taking it to a 2-up save. Because looking across the field, it knows that it just set itself up to be bait. The Fairy Queen, after her performance in the last game, decides to step forward and use her magical might against the shrine. As she stands between the 2 hedgerows, she casts Purifying Light at the shrine, the spell going off. But after the bright flash, the shrine's armor held. She then chooses to use her Radiant ability, forcing the shrine to take 2 morale tests, and it passes both. Then, frustrated with the results, she pulls out her vine whips and proceeds to batter the shrine. As the tangled mess falls away, the shrine only loses 1 wound. The seasoned cat adventurers, confidence with their increased defense from being overfed, move as fast as possible towards the relic in the middle of the board. Not quite able to reach it yet. The fairies, armed with swords, roll a maximum of their darting ability. They're able to reach the Cat Folk shrine with distance to spare. The fairies pepper the shrine with attacks, cutting at it with their tiny swords. But the shrine's current 2-up save is able to stop it from most of the damage. It only takes 1 wound, taking it down to 7. Fighting back, the shrine is able to take out 2 of the fairies, forcing them to take a morale test that they then pass. The Sabertooth, seeing its opportunity to charge into the sword fairies, takes off into the crop field. His impact hits, killing 2 of the fairies underneath his weight. Then with his 4 rending attacks, he's able to take out 2 more of the fairies. The fairy unit then consolidates and attacks the Sabertooth, and because they are fatigued, they're unable to hit at all. They're forced to take a morale test, and once again, they're able to hold. The unit of fairy archers on the left flank of the fairies see that the fight in the crop field is not going to the fairies' advantage. They move forward and they cast Wrath of Nature on the primordial Sabertooth. Sabertooth fails 3 saves. They then fire with their rending bows, and they are able to take an additional 2 wounds off the Sabertooth, leaving it with 1 wound remaining. He then passes his morale test. Our monkey cavalry, seeing that nobody worth attacking is within charge range this turn, move forward to flank the shrine to give it support in the coming turn. With another exceptional darting roll, the spear-armed fairies are able to charge all the way to the center of the board into the seasoned cat adventurers. The fairies dive on the adventuring cats, causing many hits, but with the upgraded defense of the adventuring cats, they're only able to cut down 4. The adventuring cats attack back and are only able to score 2 hits, even with their quality of 3. They take out 2 fairies, and then are forced to take a morale test, and unfortunately they fail their morale test, and are now pinned right where they don't want to be. The cat slingers move up next. The caster in the unit casts Hunting Frenzy on the spear-equipped fairies, the spell going off with a 6. The fairies take 9 hits and they fail 6 saves, forcing a morale test that they then fail, becoming pinned right next to the cat adventurers. The slinger unit then discovers that the queen is in range of their slings. They all fire off their stones, and surprisingly, the queen fails 2 armor saves, taking her down to 7 wounds remaining. The Rumblebees, seeing that they're being left behind by the rest of the army, move as fast as they can towards the 3rd objective, hoping to be able to overwhelm any of the Cat Folk forces. In response, the Kitten Initiate Squad on the cat's left flank burst through the underbrush. They're unable to reach the Rumblebees. They do claim the 3rd relic on that flank. The final unit of fairies, the archers, all the way on the right flank, again roll a very high darting roll. They're able to pop around the terrain to get within line of sight of the kittens. The caster in the unit then attempts to cast Sleeping Curse, and it goes off with a 6. Remember when I couldn't cast anything? Now it seems like every time I roll a dice, it comes up a 6. The Sleeping Curse hits the kittens. 7 of them decide to lay down and fall asleep. Attempting to finish off the unit, the archers fire into what's left of the kittens and miss completely. The kittens then surprisingly pass their morale test. The kitten ballista attempts to fire their coconut at the queen. And completely misses. Beehive tossers looking for a optimal target for their hornet nests take off running towards the Rumblebees. Then last activation for the turn, the 2nd unit of kittens on the right flank move as fast as they can into the crop field to support the shrine and the Sabertooth. Seeing the state of the fairies falling across the field, the queen decides to take the first activation of turn number 2 and charges into the cat cavalry. She casts Sleeping Curse. Because it's Blast 9, it only hits 7 times because that's how many models are in the unit. But the monkey cavalry fail every save, putting all the cats and monkeys to sleep, leaving just the supreme cat leader with 5 wounds remaining. The queen then uses her radiant light power on the gorilla supreme commander and the shrine. They both fail their morale tests, and both of them take 2 wounds. Then proceeds to rear back with her tulip mace and pound the supreme cat leader on gorilla into the ground. The cat shrine activates, and before it moves, it attempts to cast Predator Roar on the queen. This is where the dice show up as a fail. The shrine moves into contact with the fairies, then uses its protection aura to give the Sabertooth and the kitten unit +1 defense. Then attacking the fairies, it's able to kill 3. The fairies attacking back into the shrine are able to cause 3 wounds, bringing the shrine down to 2 wounds remaining. Morale checks are passed. Both of the cat's big units are on their last legs. The fairy archers on the left flank cast Purifying Light onto the shrine. The spell goes off, and the shrine proceeds to roll a 1 for its armor save, meaning the shrine goes down in a heap of timber. The archers then turn their thorn bows onto the primordial Sabertooth, causing 1 hit. Then the primordial Sabertooth proceeds to fail his armor save, losing his last wound and going down. The unit of slingers with their casters attached move over to the left flank. Seeing the right flank is having trouble, they're going to try to intercept the Rumblebees before they crash the left flank. In a game where magic is swinging for the fences, our level 2 caster inside the unit attempts to cast Hunting Frenzy, and amazingly it goes off, causing 9 hits to the Rumblebees. 4 Rumblebees go down to the Phantom Claws. Deciding that wasn't enough damage, the slingers all rear back and fire stones at the Rumblebees, scoring an impressive number of hits. The Rumblebees then fail 4 more armor saves, causing the squad to go down to the Princess and 2 bees. They then fail their morale check, causing them to become pinned. This is the point where I sit back and go, wow, this is turning into... This is ridiculous. The Sword Fairies decide to activate next and get a very high darting roll and decide to take the relic in their possession and get out of the fields. They take off towards the other side of the board. Seeing that the relic they were fighting for has left this side of the field, the kittens that were left in the crop fields decide to charge the Fairy Queen. Even though the kittens are only hitting on a 5, they end up scoring 10 hits with their Furious Rule on the Queen. The Queen then fails 4 of her armor saves. The Queen then turns and attacks back into the kittens. Because she's fatigued, she only gets 2 hits and kills 2 of the kittens. She then needs to take a morale test, and a miracle for the Cat Folk happened as she rolls a 1 and flees the board. The kittens then take their 3-inch consolidation towards the relic that was taken from them. The archer fairies on the right flank move closer to the kitten unit, and they cast Wrath of Nature on the kittens. The 4 hits at AP2 easily take them out, causing them to drop the relic that falls right into the archer's lap. They then fire into the slingers with their thorn bows and are able to take out 2. Not finding any good angles to get anyone in range of their beehives, the hive tossers move through the difficult terrain and pop up in the back, looking to drop their beehive bombs on somebody next turn. The Rumblebees are going to unpin. The seasoned cat adventurers are going to unpin. The spear fairies are going to unpin. Last unit to activate this turn, the coconut artillery is able to see through the trees enough of one Rumblebee to take a shot. It launches its coconut, hitting the bee square in the thorax, causing it to burst apart. Fairies get the first activation on turn number 3, and the squad of fairies that's carrying the relic continues their run into the backfield, trying to get far enough away to where they're going to hold the relic for the rest of the game. Seeing a golden opportunity, the beehive tossers jump on the relic in the center of the board. They take aim at the spear fairy unit, who happens to have 3 models left over, so they're going to feel the full wrath of every beehive that hits. They rear back and hurl the beehives, causing 5 hits and an impressive 10 wounds. They completely remove the spear fairies from the board. The fairy archers on the right flank begin their retreat with the relic in hand. They get to the base of the tree and attempt to cast Sleeping Curse on the beehive tossers. But this time, the fairy is unable to cast. They then take shots with their bows and are unable to score a single hit. The seasoned cat adventurers charge into the rumblebees, making sure that they can hit the furthest point so that they could possibly catch the running fairies in subsequent turns. With their great weapons, they're able to do 5 wounds to the rumblebees, taking them down, and their consolidation brings them closer to the back corner. The only other unit for the Fey Petal Courts is the fairies all the way on the left flank. With their high darting roll, they're able to move across all the terrain, and they go to cast a spell at the seasoned cat adventurers. I hadn't decided yet, but I'd already rolled a 1, so whatever they were going to do, it had failed. They then took shots with their thorn bows, but the adventurers' armor held. The kitten unit that was on the right flank looks to their side and sees an easy target, charging into the archer fairies. In another outbreak of furiousness, the kittens are able to completely rip apart the fairies. The unit of slingers moves forward, and their caster throws hissing wrath up at the fairy archers in the rocks. He's able to cut down one fairy. The slingers then all rear back and fire their slings into the fairies in cover, and they're able to take out 2 of them. But the fairy archers are able to pass their morale test. The kitten ballista in the back moves a little bit to the right, and once again is able to sneak a peek at a fairy head popped up on that hill. The kittens pull back the coconut and fire. The fairy they were aiming at gets vaporized, and the remaining fairy archer fails her morale test, dropping the relic. The fairy archer activates first, unpins, and picks the relic right back up. The seasoned cat adventurers activate next, charge up the hill, and to no one's surprise, they're able to take out the last fairy archer and claim her relic as their own. The last 2 remaining fairies on the board take their relic and run all the way into the corner. The rest of the Cat Folk unit, seeing that there's no way to get in range, line of sight, or melee into that unit of fairies, everything else decides to hold. So that brings us to the end of the game, everybody. And with a final score of 2-1, the Cat Folk have beaten the Fey Petal Courts. Once again, I'd like to say thank you to Philip Sins Miniatures for allowing me to preview the army for everybody here. Link to the Kickstarter for these cats are down in the description below. Link to the Cat Folk Army book for one-page rules is also down there in the description, along with a link to his Myminifactory page. You can take a look at everything else he's designed. These cats were a whole lot of fun to paint up, the little goofy things. And they're going to stick around because next week they're going to take on the big angry trees. So thanks for stopping by, everybody. We have a poll up on the channel for you guys to choose which army fights on the board after the trees and the cats. We are integrating Grimdark Future and Age of Fantasy in the same poll. Because the rules are the same, we can have Age of Fantasy fight Grimdark Future. The choice is yours. Go vote. Remember to like and subscribe, and memberships are open. I'm working on the members-only video right now where it's going to be Mummified Undead versus the Saurians from Age of Fantasy. I started at a 2,000 point list for both armies, but I keep thinking of cool stuff I gotta put in there. I think the game is up to almost 4,000 points now. So if you would like to see that when it comes out, become a member. And when you become a member, you can request a battle report between 2 armies of your choosing. You get to watch it with the other members for about a week and a half, and then it goes public for everybody else. So one more time, I just want to say links in the description for the Kickstarter for these cats. It is less than the cost of a single box of Intercessor Space Marines. There's no reason not to check it out. I'll do it for me here in the garage. Until next week, See you all later.